The President of the Queensland Police Union has called for urgent reform in the handling of domestic violence cases during the inquest into the of Hannah Clarke and her 3 children. Today was the 7th day of the Brisbane inquest into Ms Clarke's at the hands of her estranged husband, Rowan Baxter. Queensland Police Union President Ian Levers called for greater training of officers and the establishment of a national policing database to monitor domestic violence abusers. Man charged with domestic violence of young Newcastle mum. Brisbane mum Hannah Clarke was ed by her estranged husband. I've called for a long time for increased training for the sharing of information, Mr Levers said. I want a national database to include New Zealand, so all information is available to police right across the country because domestic violence doesn't stop at state borders. We need to look at reforming legislation, and changes with how we interact and deal with domestic violence. Mr Levers said domestic violence cases make up 40% of all police work, with reform needed to better protect victims and hold perpetrators accountable. Inquest hears Hannah Clarke told police she feared for her life before. Footage of Hannah Clarke was played during the inquest into her. Police across the state of Queensland, domestic violence is brought up wherever I go in Queensland and they want more training, Mr Levers said. I think that is imperative. What I will say is my colleagues are doing the best they possibly can. It is time for reform, it is time for change. Ms Clarke and her children were on February 19, 2020, after Baxter poured petrol on her car and set it alight whilst all 4 family members were inside. Yesterday, the inquest heard that Ms Clarke was afraid of taking out a domestic violence order against her estranged husband in case it worsened the situation for herself and her children. The inquest was shown police body cam vision of Ms Clarke going to police after the abduction of her 4-year-old daughter, where officers told her nothing could be done without a DVO or custody order in place. According to Destroy the Joints Counting Women project, 14 women have so far been due to domestic violence this year in Australia. Our thoughts are with Hannah's parents and their extended family from all police who were involved, Mr Levers said.